In this sequence, we're going to be using the framework of a table pose to really find various frames within our body and to use those frames to cross-reference and find the middle. So we're going to start off in your table pose. And if you have props, you can put one block in front of your thigh so that you know that you have this 90-degree angle between your thigh and the ground. And then you can look back and check that you have a frame between your two heels and your two knees, all your toenails on the ground. And then the second block is going to go behind one of your wrists. But before we put it there, we're going to find a measure with your hands. So turn your fingers to face one another so your middle fingers touch. And then on the center of the heel of your hand, spin your fingers forward. That's your shoulders distance. And then from there, you can scoot the block so that you know you have a 90-degree angle from your arm to the ground as well. You might shift yourself forward a little bit so you're more on the top of your shin and in the top of your palm, where your knuckles meet your fingers, where your fingers meet your palm. And then we'll start our cat and cow. So as you inhale, round your back, and then exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, and exhale. You keep it going. Maybe even close your eyes. You can imagine that each time you inhale, it's like you're collapsing your frame, pulling all the corners in. And each time you exhale, you're pulling the corners apart. So your collarbones go forward and left and right, and your sit bones go left and right and back. And so you're clarifying the corners of your frame. And you can do the same thing in your hands. You can find all these points of contact in your hand from your pointer finger mound root down to the pinky heel, and from the pinky finger mound root down through the thumb heel. So you have this frame and you cross-reference to find the middle even in your hands. Keep it going for 5. Back to center, and now we'll stir our ribs around. So from your back bend, bring your ribs over to the right, up to the sky, over to the left, and down. My nieces call this disco kitty. You can let your head get involved. Try to keep your arms and legs pretty sturdy. Find those points of contact in your hand, from your thumb heel to your pinky mound, and your pinky heel to your pointer mound. And then in your feet, spread across all of your toenails. And then go in the other direction. Just playing jump rope with your spine here. And come to stillness. You can move the blocks out of the way, or maybe put one between your knees, so you have a little bit of contact there. And then we're going to start to march with our hands. So you're going to lift your right arm up and flip it backwards and put it down. And then lift your left arm up and flip it backwards and put it down. And then your right arm forward and your left arm forward. And keep that going, leading with your right hand, forward and back. And if you notice, you're really not just turning from the wrist, you're turning all the way up from the collarbone. And by doing that, you're making space across the top of your chest for your lungs to be more available. And by pumping through the hands, we're really stimulating all the meridians that run up the stem of your arms. From your thumb to your lungs, From your middle finger to your pericardium, the sheath around your heart, and from your pinky finger to your heart. So we're just pumping and stimulating and waking up those organs by way of the hands and the arms. Okay, go in the other direction. Lead with your left. You might start to feel some heat up here. Some heat in your shoulders, heat across your back, heat in your arms and hands and wrists. And heat is just a product of transformation, or a sign of transformation, that we are transmuting some gunk inside of us to get it out. Okay, face your hands forward. You can take that block out to the side. And then we're going to cross the right leg in front of the left leg and widen your feet. I'm going to put a block back in front of my thigh so I know I have that 90-degree angle. And now instead of having a frame back there, we have an equilateral triangle from your knees to your toenails. But there's still a frame from your sit bones to your shoulder blades, from your collarbones to your wrists. So find that. And then even from the side, you have a frame from your wrist to shoulder to sit bone to knee. Pop up onto your fingertips and start to stir your hips in a clockwise direction. Keep looking forward. Try to keep your legs pretty still as your pelvis swirls around. Moving in this clockwise direction, really finding all the points of a clock. And then come to center. Plant your left hand down, flip your right hand backward. Inhale, round your back like a cat. Exhale, come forward into a cow. Inhale, round. Exhale, expand and widen. 3 more. Feel your sit bones get close and your sit bones pull apart. Feel your collarbones get close and your collarbones pull apart. And flip your right hand forward. You're going to take your right leg out to the right and tuck your left toes behind you. You can pop back up onto your fingertips and then start to stir your hips. Big circles in one direction. Keep looking forward. Go in the other direction. And then come back to center here. Take your right arm up to the sky. And then thread your right arm through. Lay your right cheek down. Put your left hand on your sacrum or in your right hip crease and open your left collarbone. Root down into your right foot. And release your left hand back to the ground. Come back to a tabletop. Good. In this tabletop, we're going to swim the arms, starting with the right hand. So you're going to reach your right arm forward, up, and back as you flip your palm backward. And then your left arm forward, up, and back. Flip your palm backward. Right arm back and up. Flip your arm forward. Left arm back and up. Flip your arm forward. Keep that going with your right hand first. And can you see out in front of you the whole time? It's like you're fiercely staring at somebody across the room from you. Or maybe you're looking at where the floor meets the wall in front of you. 1 more. Until you're facing forward again. Good. And then you'll cross your left leg in front of your right leg. Open your feet. You And bring that block back on in front of the left thigh so you know you have a 90-degree angle there. You might shift forward and then start to stir your hips in the counterclockwise direction. So we go clockwise when we spin with time, with the planet, with the flow. Counterclockwise is your personal spin, going against the grain, doing things your way. You're stirring it up, shaking it up a bit, putting your little flair on it. Clockwise is constructive and counterclockwise is destructive. And not from a negative sense, but of a sense that sometimes things need to dissolve. We need to let go. We need to get rid. And sometimes we need to build up and take in. But we have to make space. Good, come to center. Plant your right hand, flip your left palm backward. 5 times, cat and cow. Inhale, suck it in and up. And then exhale, expand. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Feel that inness. And then expand out. Concentrate. And radiate. Okay, come to center. Flip your left palm forward. Step your left foot all the way out to the left. Pop up under your fingertips. You can tuck your right toes. And then big circles with your hip. Your left knee can bend and straighten. Keep looking forward. Go in the other direction. And come back to center. Reach your left arm up to the sky. And sweep your left arm through. Lay your cheek down. You can put your right hand on your sacrum or in your left hip crease and open up that corner, that right collarbone. You reach your left sit bone away from your right collarbone and your right sit bone away from your left collarbone. Take 1 more breath. And then come back up to your table. And we'll swim our arms in the other direction. So your left arm sweeps forward, up and back. Plant it backwards. Right arm forward, up and back. Plant it backwards. Left arm forward, plant it forward. Right arm, plant it forward. Keep it going. Keep looking forward. Last one. And face your hands forward. Again, tuck your right knee in front of your left knee. And then this time we're going to sit down into Gomukhasana. So you might sit on something. You might sit on a block or on a blanket. Scoot your hips away from your bottom leg, your left leg. So scoot your hips over toward the right foot. And you can hold onto the knee or the ankle and start to draw big circles with your hips. We'll go in both directions, so just pick one and really get around it. So if you put yourself in the middle of a clock, can you travel through every hour? And which hours is it hard to get into? And go in the other direction. And then come to stillness. You're going to take your blocks, if you have them, and stack them up long ways for under your right armpit. And then your right fingertips will reach to the ground. Reach your left arm up and over your head, and then turn your lungs to the sky so you find a back bend. Imagine that you are bringing this whole right side up to the ceiling. But we're keeping it open, not letting it collapse here. One more breath. And then release your hands. You can move the blocks to the side. And we'll sit back and uncross your legs. Open them up so they're wider, maybe a little bit wider than your mat. And you can slide your blocks right under your knees here. You're going to fold so that you make contact with your knees near your shoulders. And then cross your right arm to your left ankle and your left arm to your right ankle. And we'll go for a swim. Important that your knees are bent so that you can use them as a boundary to lean over. You're going to lean your left shoulder to your left knee, but create a boundary with your left knee, pushing into your left shoulder. And then sweep your right arm back behind you. See your hand swimming all the way up and over. And re-grab your ankle. And then lean to the right, connect the knee into the shoulder. Sweep your left arm back, up and over, and see it the whole time. And that's the work. Keep that going, nice and slow. Really experience the whole revolution. And can you see? Does your vision come into the picture? And notice which parts it doesn't. Do you miss the beginning? Do you miss the end? Do you stay for the middle? These are all just pieces of information. Not to be judged, just to be known and played with. Because once you know, you can do something about it. And once more, each side. And then lift yourself up. We're going to find the other side, so you can cross your left knee in front. Maybe you shift forward to wedge it in there, and then sit back down. This time, since your right leg's on the bottom, you'll scoot toward your left foot, hold on to your ankles or your knee, and then start to make those big circles. Feel around in there. So this movement in this pose is a strategy, it's a skill, a technique that you can cultivate. Because this is a hard pose. It can be really uncomfortable, especially if you don't practice it a lot. And so you find some movement, you choose to move, rather than flip out. So the movement helps you not flip out, it helps you process that energy and funnel it into something else, go in the other direction. Around time, around yourself, into your pelvis, into your hips. Okay, and then come to center. We'll take the blocks and stack them long ways under your left armpit. Tent your fingertips up. Reach your right arm up, and then turn. And really imagine that you could turn your left ribs up, your left lung up. And one more breath here. And rise back up. Open your legs again. We're going to swim again, starting with the other arm. Put the blocks under your knees. The blocks under the knees is just helpful because it keeps you a little more honest. Your knees aiming up, your toes aiming up, so you are neutrally rotated in your hips. Fold over. This time grab your left hand to right ankle first, right hand to left ankle. And then we'll lean to the right. Make a boundary with your legs. Swing your left arm up and over. See it. And re-grab. And keep it going. Make your breath audible. Hear it as you swim. So you hear the sound of the ocean as you're swimming through this ocean. You hear the sound of the waves and you ride the waves. This practice, this yoga practice, is equal parts kick, stroke, and breathe. Every yoga practice, every life practice. Your legs are active. Your knees are bent. Your feet are flexed. You are kicking in a way. You're stroking. Your arms are sweeping. Your capacity is expanding. And you're breathing and you're bringing your vision into it. So you're embodied. One more each side. Okay, and then come on up. We'll find Paschimottanasana. So you can stay seated on that blanket. Widen your sit bones with a little self-adjustment. And I'm going to put a block in between my shins because I know I'm going to use it. Bend your knees and hook your armpits over your knees. So you have all this contact. That's a comfort, it's a safety, and it's information. It's like information transferring. Hold under your heels and relax your head on a block. Relax your head so that you can soften the back of your neck. The back of your neck is a mirror to your low back and sacrum. So we soften that to help instruct the lower spine that it can soften as well. And the other piece is all of the contact we've created. By creating this contact, we have something to rest against so our low back does not have to work or seize up or stress out. We are held, we are holding ourselves by fitting ourselves. You have to fit yourself before you can fit anything else, anyone else. Feel your breath fitting in your body. Your upper half fitting on your lower half. Like the perfect shoe on a foot. While you breathe here, pull your left sit bone and right collarbone away from one another. Your right sit bone and left collarbone away from one another. Your right knee and left sit bone. Your left knee and right sit bone. You have all these frames. Right knee, left heel. Left knee, right heel. Right collarbone, left shoulder blade. Left collarbone, right shoulder blade. One more breath. Roll yourself up. And we'll finish up this sequence in a little back bend, supported fish. So you can take a block under your shoulders. If you'd like, you can put one under your head. So we'll really be propping up your shoulder blades. And maybe your head comes on another one at the same height or a little bit lower to open up your throat. You can widen your feet, knock your knees in together, or extend your legs forward. And take a few moments here to just let the shell of your back open up. Feel free to stay in this posture for as long as it feels available or good for you. When you're ready to let it go, you can reach your right arm over your head, roll to your right side, Press yourself up to a seat. And take a moment with your eyes closed to just feel what you've done, what's changed, what chemical reactions have occurred in your body. What have you made? And then let it go.